Next up, we have Erdi Karaca, who's the head of banking and beyond banking, HSBC Kinetic. We also have Erik Brieva, who's the CEO of Strands, joining us on the same. So let's get you guys up on screen. So wonderful. Thank you both for joining us. I'd like to take 1 minute for each of you to introduce yourself. Erdi, can you start?
Absolutely. So thanks, Zach, and thanks for having me here as well. So my name is Erdi Karaca. I'm heading banking and beyond banking functions within HSBC's Kinetic, which is a UK channel for small to medium-sized enterprises. In addition to these, I'm also running our data services, which provides data to the entire Kinetic organization. Before that, again, I spent most of my time in the banking space around product development. But long years ago, I was actually in the data consultancy space. So I'm actually coming from, a quite technical background as well. Hence my love for data and what we can do with data. I also can pass it to Erik now.
Okay. Erik, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Erik Brieva. I am the CEO at Strands. I have been in this role for the past 6 years. Today, Strands is part of the CRIF Corporation. So CRIF is one of the largest credit bureau, and it's a data-driven company ready to support any financial institutions, company, and individuals to assess them in their financial scoring and other services.
Wonderful, and thank you both for joining us, and thank you, Erik and Strands, for sponsoring the Challenges event. So we talked about today's day, the second day of the Challenges, really being more focused on SMB banking. This is to you, Erdi. Can you talk about the evolution of the SMB customer journey as you've seen throughout your career?
Oh, absolutely. So I guess everybody in the sector would have noticed that there's been quite a bit of a dynamic change in our industry, mostly driven by evolving SMB needs, more advanced technology, the PSD2 regulation in Europe. So all of these actually led to certain changes in our industry, some quite large, some more minor. But I guess before actually looking into the evolution of the SMB journey, I guess it's important to remember that the businesses that we're talking about are run by individuals just like yourself and myself, right? So just like ourselves, they've got access to the PayPal, they've got access to Amazon, Apple, and all other more sophisticated technology platforms, which is inevitably raising their expectation in terms of some of the digital experiences they're having. And we've also, noticed that, especially in the past couple of years, be it challengers or credit offerers or, payment processors, they've actually showed business banking customers or customers in general that great experiences could be built and you could still have access to lending, let's say in 5 minutes rather than having to wait for about 6 weeks to 2 months. So obviously all of these changes motivated banks such as ourselves to actually look into some of our fundamental journeys and improve these, but beyond improvement, almost take them to next level of sophistication. But beyond all of this, also provide other solutions to customers where we can also fulfill the beyond banking needs. So again, looking at the customer journey today and their needs, customers are actually, their needs are quite simple. They want, simple to consume information. They want flawless journeys. They want easy access to money. They want easy transactional banking. And beyond all of this, just like how Amazon knows when their fairy tablet will run out, they want their bank to know when they're going to run out of their money. So our job in Kinetic has been working together with the business banking customers to actually help fulfill some of these journeys as and when their needs are growing as well. And current indication is that we've been quite successful in that. So as the journey evolves, it's again inevitable that the business customers will be evolving, their needs will be evolving. And again, it's a continuous improvement on what we have. And again, continuously thinking from the lens of customer and how we can actually help serve our customers better digitally, considering the current situation as well. So that's what I would say.
Just a follow-up question to that. Is it responsive to their needs changing, or is it proactive? Or I guess, is it both sometimes based on...
You're spot on, Zach. It is both, depending on the scenario. But we see that, traditional banking is very reactive. The customer has a need, they come and search out of a product catalog of, let's say, 100 options, and most of the time they actually choose the wrong option and they get declined, which is quite frustrating, right? So what we need to do, and what we're doing as, within HSBC and within HSBC Kinetic specifically, is to spend time and actually understand our customers and act more proactively towards their needs, so that we can actually inform them on time, rather than trying to serve them as and when it's already too late for meeting some of those needs. So definitely it's right, finding the right balance, but I'm definitely seeing a shift towards more proactive banking.
Got it. And so, Erik, I'd like to address this question to you. What is Strands? What is your work? What is the nature of your work with HSBC, and sort of some of the things that that Erdi just kind of mentioned?
Yes, after this fantastic introduction by Erdi, actually our goal is to serve financial institutions in order to reach to their SME banking customers. So the small and medium enterprise has been underserved, not just by banks in that sense, because there are a lot of solutions out there, but it's very complex for them to switch between different bank accounts, switch between different software solutions to manage their finances. So what Strands delivers, Strands BFM, Business Financial Management delivers, is a holistic banking experience for small and medium enterprises. It's an all-in-one banking platform for help them managing their finances in an affordable and efficient way. By partnering with a bank, and in this case with HSBC, we have come up with the Kinetic solution together, so we can put in hands of the small and medium business the best tools to manage their finances properly, to access multiple bank accounts from Kinetic, to deal with paying payrolls, analyzing invoicing, creating orders even, in order to manage all what they need to run their business properly. And this is powered by machine learning and artificial intelligence, so the customer can be automatically alerted, can be impressed by the recommendation that Kinetic is offering to them.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. I want to go back to Erdi. You talked about beyond banking solutions. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about what those are and why HSBC is investing so heavily here, because it does feel like it's a little bit outside the traditional role of banking.
Absolutely. Again, great questions, Zach. So thank you. So I get this question pretty much in every single forum that I attend, internal or external, in terms of why we should be investing into beyond banking solutions and what those solutions should be. And in my opinion, though most people don't find it natural for banks to offer these services, I don't think there is more natural place for a bank to offer these than any other provider. And I'll explain it in a quite simple way. So today, we know that 70% of small to medium-sized enterprises rely on very manual ways of managing their finances. And when I say manual, I'm talking about Excel sheets, thousands of lines of numbers there being crunched by, in the past very sophisticated, no longer a sophisticated solution, which is also prone to a lot of mistakes. But beyond these, we know the group of customers also rely on their accountants, to whom they need to pay 70 to 80 quid per hour. Or they go to their accountant provider or an aggregator to get insights about their own money, and they have to pay for it. And naturally, as a bank, we hold a lot of data of the customer. We know all their, incoming transactions and outgoing transactions, because that's the one center where all of these transactions are triggered. But beyond this, we've got strong partnerships, and some of these are enabled by, Strands, where we have the power to bring external data into Kinetic. And when the external data, what I mean is accounting data. So is there a better place than a bank to reconcile this data together and provide proactive insights and toolings to the customers so that they can actually understand their finances better in real time, not in a 24-hour batch where you're always a day late, a day behind, in terms of where your business is. So as HSBC, we've heavily invested into beyond banking solutions because we see a clear gap in terms of how customers manage their business today. So we want to help them make that process easy. How we've done it, so we, again, in partnership with Strands, we built a top-notch transaction categorization engine within HSBC that is aligned to HMRC. So HMRC is Her Majesty's Customs and Revenue, which is our tax office. And every single business has to go through a process with them when it comes to VAT and tax payment. So by categorizing those transactions, we've actually saved 5 days from a business where they would normally spend this time manually trying to understand which transaction belonged to what category. Was it food? Was it administration? Was it insurance? So we made that very simple, but we didn't stop there. We used that data in our advantage, but also in the customer's advantage, because we wanted to tell a customer that this is how you spend your money. So we then built a spend analytics solution, which gives customer a clear breakdown of how and where they spend their money, and a monthly change in that as well. So a Kinetic customer today could go into their app and they would know whether they spent more money in travel this month than the last month. So we provide a lot of clear KPIs that we believe are quite helpful to the customer. Then beyond this, we've taken that data, brought in more complex data, and we started providing cash flow solution to our customers, through which we are able to tell customers about their past and present position. And we are currently working on providing them the, long-term future projection as well, so that, we can help the customer as early as possible. But we, again, by using this data effectively, we've gone a level even beyond and actually build personalized insights for customers as well. So today, the smart engine that we built with Strands will understand all the bills that I have in the next few weeks, and will tell me whether I'm likely to hit zero or go into my overdraft. So it can actually warn me, give me a heads up, so I can take relevant actions. And again, we are not a bank who's trying to sell customers. So we are giving customers clear options around, you can top up your account from another bank free of charge. You can actually cancel a payment, amend a payment, reschedule it for a later date free of charge. Or if you need funding, we have options for you, which you can apply straight through. So it's all about, understanding the customer, but also serving them at the right time seamlessly. And that's why we rely on data so much. That's why we rely on smart tooling so much, because it helps our customers, but it also helps us because we know our customers better.
I really am impressed by the data-centric approach that both companies are taking here. Erdi, this has been a very trying time. If the number one concern for small businesses is, do they have enough money at the end of the month? I mean, this current crisis, I think, has probably put a lot of pressure on SMBs. We were hearing that from all the challenger banks on the conference. How are you seeing HSBC SMB clients? How are they performing during this tough time?
No, thanks. So just like in any country, the UK business banking customers, have been hit quite hard by the COVID-19 situation. Obviously, they have a quite limited business environment at the moment where they're not able to serve everybody or the same quantities that they served before, therefore reduce revenue, though they may have the same, cost, i.e. the rental expenses they have, insurance they have. So definitely, overall, I would say that the customers in general, are struggling as per the current, picture. But again, what we're doing as a bank is we, first of all, are following the government advice, and UK government has been quite proactive in terms of helping the UK business customers across the country. And they've actually announced a couple of packages in terms of, serving our customers, during these needful times. So as HSBC, we offer CBIL loans, but we also offer BBL, so bounce back loans. So as Kinetic, what we've done is, because we've got end-to-end digital onboarding, we've enabled the market to get access to easy onboarding so that they could access to the fund easily. And it doesn't matter whether you're an existing HSBC customer, or whether you're sitting completely outside our walls, you could apply by just going on to, App Store. And I think there's been a really powerful message from HSBC in terms of, saying to the market that we're here and we're here to help. So I think that enablement of easy onboarding and supporting customers through digital ways, because obviously there's also a limitation around visiting branches and other physical, practices. Therefore, I would say that we've been quite supportive of our customers during these difficult times.
Got it. Erik, this question is directed towards you. One of the themes we've seen during this conference, we had Intuit in the conference yesterday, a financial software company that has moved into banking now. And that's a story that Tearsheet has told a lot about, non-banks moving into financial services. Can you talk about that trend, I guess, and whether, if you see from your perspective, if these new entities will be competitive?
Yes, it's a very interesting topic about Intuit and others probably incumbing into banking. So we have already seen before that other incumbents in banking, like big retailers, mm-hmm. or Amazon, Apple, mm-hmm. and others. So and banks are still there and still being competitive, and that's the motto of life of Strands. So we are partnering with bank and financial institution to help them remain competitive, to help them offer a better user experience and continue leading the banking industry. So it's very interesting what Intuit, the move by Intuit. But we have to say that Intuit is a complex software solution for small business owners. Mm-hmm. What Strands BFN is doing is to simplify that a lot. So to put in hands of the small business owners the tools that they really need in a way that is very easy, embedded into their digital banking app that they have in their pocket every day. So we presume that by empowering banks with such Strands BFN kind of solutions, banks are really going to be taking the big leadership in this space.
So I guess I could have asked that question, upside down. Do you see, Erik, what we are seeing banks using tools like Strands expand into areas they didn't necessarily normally serve, like what Erdi was just talking about in terms of being able to, really getting some granular data. Do you see that happening with your banking customers, sort of them pushing the boundaries of where banks traditionally provided services?
Yes, absolutely. It's a two ways. So from the market, from the banking user chasing banks, I want you, my bank, to offer me the user experience that Amazon is offering me, and the other way around. The banks are realizing, and they have the responsibility to be competitive and to offer their customer base the best solution, so they are very well served.
Got it. Back to Erdi. This is a big, broad question. I guess as we're getting to the end of our conversation, I want to hear this from you. What is given all the hats that you wear, what's your vision for supporting SMBs into the future?
No, absolutely. As I mentioned, this is an ever-changing, segment. The needs are ever-changing, and obviously the current, the world environment is also currently changing, constantly changing. I guess one is that adaptability, i.e., being able to, manage the expectations of the customers, but also deliver for those needs. But I guess the ultimate vision we have is, we don't want to be just a bank that holds the customer's money. We want to be a trusted financial advisor for our customers, and we want to future-proof their businesses by telling them today what will happen tomorrow. So it's, again, using data really effectively and available technology really effectively, just like any other sector do today. So I guess our, vision will focus on that. Our strategy is really clear, digital first. We know that the mobile is, growing faster than any other channel. So therefore, it's again identifying the clear needs and serving customers as and when required. But having that clear vision powered by data where you use intelligence to actually help customers rather than assumptions. And I think that would be where we want to be going forward.
So I want to hear, I guess, a little bit more about what Kinetic is and what it represents, for the mothership, and
absolutely
how that might be leading the bank into the future, or vice versa. I'm just curious to hear.
Absolutely. So I can share more information. So HSBC Kinetic is a digital-only mobile channel built on Google Clouds within the UK. And the customer segment that we're targeting specifically is the small businesses. There are roughly 5 million businesses in the UK. So we're targeting all those whose needs could be met by a digital channel. We also recognize that not all solutions could be met digitally. Therefore, our focus is actually, quite specific. It's all about meeting those needs that the SME, the customers have. Kinetic, how it was born. So as I mentioned, the market is ever changing. And if we go back to 3-4 years ago, when everyone was talking about open banking, the PSD2 regulation, and how big of a threat these would be for banks and others in the market. But I guess what we've seen, Zach, in the market, especially this year, is that first of all, I think there's still a very strong need and reliance on, a strong core banking solution, which is again something that we actually get from our mothership. But we also recognize that there is a need to offer beyond what we offer today as a traditional bank. So HSBC is the synergy of these, where you bring these two notions together and create something really unique to meet all the needs. From the moment that the customer is onboarded to the day that they're no longer small business, that they are mid-level enterprise or large corporate. So Kinetic, in essence, is how HSBC is converting this movement, the opportunity that came with the PSD2 and obviously what the challenges brought to the market is an opportunity to actually serve more customers and help our customers more effectively. HSBC Kinetic, beyond it being a UK channel, is obviously a very sophisticated banking platform. Therefore, we want to obviously continue our work and scale it up to more customers. But the conversations are ongoing in terms of the further how that relationship will be. But I guess our current focus, as I mentioned, is we know that there is a growing need, and as HSBC Kinetic and as HSBC Group, we want to just serve our customers to the best of our ability.
Amazing. And I think we'll end our conversation with Erik. I'm curious to know what Strands product pipeline looks like going on into the future, particularly with an eye on the US market. I know it's a new market for you and an expanding market for you. What are your plans for products and rollout over the next few months?
Yes, Strands BFM is already offering a global view of the business performance by connecting to the different bank accounts, but also by providing maximum interoperability. So we are going there to provide maximum interoperability between bank accounts. So complying with, for example, PSD2 standards. So for access to account, but also by triggering services via third parties, and also by including more features that goes beyond the finance planners that we already have based on machine learning, including features like simplifying the way small and medium business create invoices and sending to customers, send quotations, receive orders, manage payrolls, or do payments, all integrated into this single Strands BFM approach, and access by interacting with the banking application. So all of our efforts are going to continuing providing smart insights and the maximum interoperability for the small and medium businesses.
I got it. I lied. There's a question came through from the audience, which I'd like each of you to address very quickly. We'll start with you, Erdi. What do you think is the biggest challenge for bank PFM?
Bank PFM or BFM in the sense of
well, in your
financial management?
BFM, yes.
I guess, and again, I guess from an HSBC point of view, we've been in a fortunate position because obviously we built on a very sophisticated cloud platform. So that removes some of the challenges you would normally have on a platform or a legacy platform that's built on on-prem solution. So biggest challenges will be around actually bringing the data in one unified form. So for you to build a business financial management tool or personal financial management tool, you need statements data, you need accounting data, you need other customer details that you get from multiple different sources. So bringing all these data sources into a unified structure will surely be a challenge, especially if this question comes from an individual who works for a legacy bank. It will require a number of different approvals as well, because obviously data is we have to be quite cautious of data and how we use it. So these would be some of the challenges. But if, however, you're in a fortunate position that you're actually building on cloud, then it's all about bringing all your data in one single DB, a database or a framework, and then you build on top of that from there in terms of the use cases you have, or if you have partnerships, you can use some of the components that have to actually accelerate some of these deliveries.
Got it. And Erik, you work with hundreds of different banks. What are some of their biggest challenges implementing a financial planner tool like Strands?
Yes, I have the bigger challenge is in one hand is there are several, is velocity. So how fast they target the need and they move themselves to implement it and reach to the market quickly. On the other side is a challenge is to deal with their existing legacy systems that the banks has. Requires integration with that legacy in order to provide access to data and so on. These two directions are the main challenge that we are seeing when implementing it for banks and financial institutions. Got it.
This has been a fascinating conversation. Erdi and Erik, thank you both for joining us on the Tearsheet Challengers Conference, the inaugural Challengers Conference.
Thanks for having us, Zach. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Zach and Erdi, to share this with you.
Thanks very much, Zach. Thank you, Zach.